don't hurt them, please. They don't know they're dealing with very tough people in this room. They don't know who they're dealing with. They don't know who they're dealing with. They just don't understand. All right. Go home to Mom. Explain to Mom that you tried to take on very powerful people, and many of them physically as well as mentally. That's not a good thing to do. Not in this room. Be careful.
Back here on the Bernie and Sid Show on 77 WABC. Get us at the 77 WABC app. And right now, on the line with us, we're honored to be joined by the wildly successful proprietor of the website, BillO'Reilly.com, where you can watch his podcast, order his book, The United States of Trump. And Mr. O'Reilly will be at the Paramount Theater in Huntington, New York, on Long Island, December 15th. Sid and I will be there as well.
Oh, yeah.
In any case, and Jill, I think, is going to go. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, Bill O'Reilly's on with us now. Good morning, Bill.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me back.
Come on.
Always a pleasure, Mr. O'Reilly. Always a pleasure. Listen, you wrote a column. It's called He's Still the Avenger, and it's all about Trump and his rallies and et cetera, et cetera. But it ties into the impeachment thing and the siege that the president is under and has been really since he's been elected. Tell us about it, Bill.
Well, I was listening to Congressman Zeldin earlier on your program. I thought it was pretty good, Zeldin, because it wasn't what he was saying, the micro stuff about, well, this and that and the other thing. It didn't strike me as Zeldin seemed worried about this. Did it strike you guys?
No. Excellent point.
No.
Okay, so he's sitting there, Zeldin's sitting there, and he's listening to the people coming in and say, Trump did this, Trump did that. But Zeldin doesn't seem to be overly concerned. He seems to be angry that the portrayal of what is being said is not accurate. I think it's the same with Trump himself. Now, I'm speculating, and I don't like to do that. My stuff is always fact-based. But I think it's the same with the president. He says, look, this is just another thing. And it's not nearly as intense as Russian collusion, because Trump didn't know what the special prosecutor he didn't know what they had. He does know what Schiff and the Democrats have. That's a huge difference. So there was a lot of uncertainty in Donald Trump in the first 2 years of that investigation. Now, it seems to me that he says this is not going to play out the way my opponents want it to. I'm not going to be removed. So therefore, I'm kind of unchained. When I go out to Pittsburgh and Dallas, I'm going to be the Avenger again. Now, if there was a suit he could fit into with a big A on it, he probably would wear it.
Oh, snap.
But he's got a little Zoftig over the past few months, so he's got to wear the big suit, the custom-tailored deal. And he goes out there, and you just heard him, the clip that you just used. You know, he's riffing. It's called a riff. And I expect that will be the case from now until Election Day, almost a year from now, that Trump is basically going to say to the country, look, I'm just going to be me, and whether you can take it or leave it. And if you take it, you get this, and if you leave it, you get them. And then the finger gets pointed to the radical left Democrats. I think that's the way it's going to shake.
You know, it's interesting. I'm always trying to figure out, Bill, during all these big stories, the folks that are not that sure about President Trump, maybe not, what they're going to do in 2020 based on his actions or their actions. But Bernie keeps driving home this point that if, in fact, the Trump supporters stay with him, and there's no reason to think they won't, that will be enough to once again win again because of the Electoral College coming in 2020. Is that a fair assessment of the upcoming election?
It's hard to say because the voting is fluid. By that I mean you have a lot of states that are adding population, and when you add population, usually that goes to the Democrats. So Florida is a good example of that. You got a big exodus from New York to Florida. You got a lot of people moving down there with assets. They probably break 60-40 Dem. So you've got to keep in mind that the country, the United States as it is now, moves very quickly. So the climate that we have today is not going to be nearly the climate we have in October 2020. There's going to be so much change in just 12 months. Now, some of the change may benefit Trump and some may not. We can't possibly know. What I do know, And what is a fact is that not one single Democrat has captured the imagination of the American electorate. There's no Bill Clinton, there's no Barack Obama, there's nobody in there that people are getting jazzed up about. You don't see people running down the street going, I have to vote for Elizabeth Warren. I must have her. You don't hear it. You don't even hear it in Massachusetts. All right? They're going, yeah, she's there. So with that kind of enthusiasm deficit compared to the Trump people who are jazzed, and they're jazzed because they don't feel that the system is fair. They think the fix is in. And the more the CNNs and the New York Times hammer Trump, the more vehement his support gets.
Yes, indeed. The national polls do say that over half of the people approve of impeachment and removal. That's national.
The polls are a fraud.
Well, but let me just finish, Bill.
Okay.
The Siena poll says 6 swing states, however, 53% oppose impeachment. Swing states. And that's where it matters. That's the base that Sid's talking about, that is going to stick with Trump and get him elected in the Electoral College at the very least.
Okay. I like the Tiffany poll. The Tiffany poll is taken by a local high school girl that says like 50 times in every sentence. All right? The Tiffany poll is just as accurate as any poll that you are seeing on a daily basis. Here's an example. Okay. On Tuesday, CNN puts out a poll that says, Joe Biden is back. 32% want Joe Biden. No, he's the greatest guy again. And then today, you have a Quinnipiac poll. Oh, no, Elizabeth Warren is trouncing Joe Biden. Okay, come on. They don't. The problem is you can't get people on the telephone. They have to go on the cell phones. People block their numbers. They don't answer. These polling firms are in disarray and chaos. Plus, if you look at the methodology, it's always way more Democrats than Republicans are being surveyed, and liberal independents. So, of course, you're going to get 52% want impeachment inquiry. That's right. And then you go out to North Dakota and you go, what? Because there's nobody. Do you have time for a quick story?
Yeah, of course.
Please. Okay. So I was number one on Fox News for 16 straight years, all right? And I watched the ratings every day. I still get the television ratings. And there was a time when my show was going down, and it was shocking. And I went, wait a minute. I don't think this is happening. I think that the rating system is something wrong with it. So I went to Roger Ailes, the boss of Fox, and I said, look, you got to go over to Nielsen, the ratings calibrator, all right, and find out what the deuce is going on. We did. And you know what we found? They moved their diaries, their rating diaries, to the West Coast primarily, to Seattle, San Francisco, and L.A.
Interesting.
Took them out of the South and the Midwest. So of course. And then once Ailes was crazed, and I'm going to blow you guys up, and then he said, oh, no, that was just a mistake. We'll get it back. And that's a true story. It's exactly what happened. That's what these polling people do. All right? They target certain areas of the country that they know are liberal, and they overweight those areas to get you that thing, to get you whatever they want. All right? They want a conclusion. And it's not hard to do it because nobody reads the methodology. They just spout what number comes out. And it's so dishonest. I mean, I can't tell you, I am like devoting all of my time now to exposing the corruption in the media because it's having such a deleterious effect on all of our lives. We're not getting the truth.
Really is. I mean, even as we speak, Bill, as you're talking about this, CNN, the scroll at the bottom of the screen reads, Trump lifts sanctions on Turkey, falsely claims ISIS defeated. You think about that?
Well, I don't think anybody thinks that's a news agency anymore. If anybody really feels they're getting news out of there, I feel sorry for those people. I'll raise money so they can get some help.
Really?
We'll have a little telethon. But look, that's part of the problem in the sense that the distracted people who aren't paying attention, the people who are watching the Hallmark movie of the week, all right? They don't know anything. They hear this stuff. And but Donald Trump can counter that with his brand of he's a bombastic guy. He can say stuff and it's carried everywhere. So he's a pretty good defender of himself in that regard.
So you talked about the candidates a little bit earlier, Bill. There's nobody there. There's nobody there. Of course, all this talk about Hillary Clinton now, maybe getting back in. The deadlines are approaching. What do you think about her jumping back in and, injecting herself into the news cycle?
Well, number one, I'm very pleased that the United States of Trump is outselling Mrs. Clinton's book, Feisty Women in Pantsuits or whatever.
Right.
I don't know what the name of the book is, but we're outselling her. So we're very, very happy about that. And there are no pantsuits in the United States of Trump. None. Secondly, she wants to be president. And she knows what we know, that there isn't a strong Democratic contender at this point. So what does she do? Does she run around Iowa? She doesn't want to do that. She does not want to do that again. So she's kind of trying to figure out, can I play it that I'm interested, but you have to come to me, Democratic Party, because you know you're going to get thumped by these people, or do I have to get in and compete in the primaries? I think it's going to be the former. I think that she's going to send the word out, I'm around. If nobody gets all the delegates, please come and let me know. But, Hillary Clinton's a mysterious person. I write extensively about her in the United States of Trump. It's a fascinating profile about how she lost the election. And but she wants to be president. She's back. She's hovering.
She is a stone-cold psycho, Bill O'Reilly, but I hope she gets back in. It would be fun. Hey, Bill O'Reilly's going to be at the Paramount in Huntington on December 15th. Sid and I are going to go, and congratulations on the success of the United States of Trump. Bill O'Reilly, BillO'Reilly.com is the website. We thank you very much, Bill.
All right, always fun to talk to you guys.
We love having you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. I got a lot of people asking me for tickets for this, but I don't think I've got the authority to give them out, do I?
No, you don't.
Did he give us extra tickets or?
No, he did not.
Okay, great. Thanks. We'll be right back.